So why I feel like this book is really timely is that it's addressing a very real issue that I see in the collective, particularly, the sort of spiritual subculture that is all about transformation and people being very engaged in this desire to grow, to expand, to evolve, to heal, however you want to name it. What I notice that is the most insidious kind of unconscious factor that's not working in that sort of cultural moray, we could say, is that, it's like we're trying to change ourselves and get rid of certain things and fix certain things, and it's still under the guise of life is a problem. I'm the problem. It's the me project that's the problem. And there's a subtle violence that's created when we're trying to change ourselves and fix ourselves and get rid of certain things. There's a quality of a kind of rhythm, a tonality in the system that's really an unconscious fear. That if I don't shift this, if I don't change that, if I don't transform that, underneath all of that is an unconscious fear of loss on some level that's not being acknowledged and not being directly met. And so what I see that's, really to me the most fundamental importance that I'm personally inspired to address is directly, kind of hand-holding people, showing them this way into this inner terrain where it's the presence of love within them. It's actually the true self, the essential self, the one behind the appearance of, all of these identifications of that we think we are, that we've taken on through our conditioning, through our ancestry, through our culture. It's that we're trying to change that. We're trying to get rid of that because, yes, it feels like a burden. We know that it's not actually allowing us to see clearly and feel clearly and engage clearly. And yes, there's a longing, there's a calling to get underneath that, to actually live this authentic, unburdened, spontaneous freedom, free expression of who we are. And yet we can't get there with a pickaxe. We can't get there with this kind of violent, unconscious, fear-based rhythm. The only way that we can actually start to access that inner being is by softening around the defense structure. It's by creating an inner climate that perhaps is the one we never got from the beginning, the one of unconditional love, of true holding, of true support, where our actual biological organism feels safe to be what it is. So we have to find this original baseline, this baseline of where we actually are, and start to become intimate with that one, start to develop true, genuine, unconditional, authentic love for that one that might feel tender and broken and lost and fragmented and scared, whatever it feels that maybe in our spiritually enlightened posturing somehow we think is less than acceptable. But if we don't develop this kind of attitude, this inner climate of actually this capacity to be with what's here, it's that capacity to be with what's here that leads us into the truth of who we are, because that one who has that capacity is the presence of love, that is who we are. And that one has a very different kind of rhythm, of tonality, of speed, if you will, that's very different than our cultural conditioning, than the momentum of all our unresolved ancestral trauma, that because it's unresolved, it has a certain urgency to it that creates a certain kind of fearful energetic that creates a sense of pressure.